Planet Earth is being pushed beyond its limits. Every key climate indicator is flashing red.
Delhi's air is so toxic that Muskan says her kids have needed a nebulizer since birth.
And nearly half the people living in the U.S. breathe unhealthy levels of air pollution. That's according to a report from the American Lung Association.
Fossil fuels, which took millions of years to form, are being consumed at unprecedented speeds. Every time coal, oil, or gas is burned, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, trapping heat and intensifying global warming. For centuries, fossil fuels powered industrial revolutions. They built cities, fueled transportation, and drove economic growth across the world. Even today, fossil fuels still supply nearly 80% of global primary energy demand. But as global temperatures rise and climate disasters have become more severe, the future of energy has become one of the most urgent questions of our time. Renewable energy sources, which were once dismissed as unrealistic, are rapidly advancing and becoming powerful alternatives.
Fossil fuels are non-renewable energy sources formed from ancient plants and organisms buried deep within Earth's crust. These include coal, oil, and natural gas. For decades, countries have built infrastructure designed specifically to extract, transport, and burn these fuels for electricity, transportation, and industrial production. Because of this massive infrastructure, fossil fuels still supply nearly 80% of global energy today. However, renewable energy comes from natural sources like sunlight, wind, and water. Unlike fossil fuels, renewable technologies produce little to no greenhouse emissions during use. In fact, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, many climate-related health impacts stem directly from fossil fuel emissions. As energy demand increases worldwide, the transition to renewable energy is no longer just an environmental goal. It is becoming an economic and public health necessity.
The most urgent reason to reduce fossil fuel use is their catastrophic environmental impact. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, human activities has unequivocally caused global warming. And the largest contributor? The burning of fossil fuels. When coal, oil, and natural gas are all burned, massive amounts of carbon dioxide are released into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat and intensify the greenhouse effect. But the consequences go far beyond rising temperatures. Climate change is driving stronger hurricanes, longer droughts, and more destructive wildfires, and even devastating floods. Oceans absorb large amounts of carbon dioxide, causing acidification that threatens marine ecosystems and global food chains. Agriculture, water supplies, and infrastructure are increasingly strained by these changing weather patterns. As long as fossil fuels remain the dominant energy source, environmental instability will continue to grow.
The damage caused by fossil fuels does not just stop with the environment. Burning fossil fuels releases harmful pollutants such as particulate matter, nitrogen oxides, and sulfur dioxide. These pollutants are strongly linked to respiratory disease, heart disease, and premature death. In fact, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, many climate-related health impacts stem directly from fossil fuel emissions. Globally, air pollution contributes to approximately 7 million premature deaths per year. Just in the United States alone, particulate pollution from fossil fuel combustion is linked to tens of thousands of deaths annually.
These impacts also disproportionately affect low-income communities where highways, refineries, and industrial plants are often located.
Cleaner renewable energy systems reduce air pollution, improve public health, and create healthier communities overall.
Many people assume fossil fuels are the cheaper option, but this assumption ignores a major reality. Fossil fuels are heavily subsidized by governments worldwide. In fact, global fossil fuel subsidies reached approximately $7 trillion in 2022 when environmental and health costs are included. These subsidies hide the true cost of fossil fuels by shifting expenses like healthcare, environmental cleanup, and disaster recovery onto taxpayers. Meanwhile, renewable energy has become dramatically cheaper. Over the past decade, the cost of solar and wind power has fallen sharply, making them competitive with and often cheaper than fossil fuels in many markets. Renewable energy also creates jobs. Investments in clean energy generate more employment per dollar spent than fossil fuel energy. The The transition to renewable energy is not only environmentally responsible, it's also economically smart.
Critics often argue that fossil fuels are more reliable than renewable energy. Unlike solar and wind, fossil fuel plants can generate electricity continuously and adjust output to meet demand. However, technological advances are rapidly solving these challenges. According to the International Energy Agency, global battery storage capacity has expanded dramatically in recent years, allowing renewable energy to be stored and used when needed. Modern energy systems also combine multiple renewable sources, including solar, wind, hydroelectric, and geothermal, creating more stable energy networks. In many cases, distributed renewable systems are actually more resilient than centralized fossil fuel infrastructure.
The global energy transition is not a lucky experiment of any form. It is a calculated response to overwhelming scientific, economic, and public health evidence. Renewable energy technologies are now competitive, scalable, and capable of supporting modern-day economies. Continuing to rely on fossil fuels ignores public health crises, rising climate instability, and long-term economic cost. But a different future is possible. A future powered by sunlight reflecting off rooftop solar panels, wind turbines turning across open landscapes, and cleaner air flowing through healthier cities.
The technology already exists.
The opportunity is here.
The question is not whether the world can transition to renewable energy.